Okay, welcome everybody! The Banshee Cup is starting. We have our first qualifier for the Banshee Cup, so we need to talk about it a little bit. We're currently in qualifier number 1. In total, we have 6 qualifiers. The system is a little bit similar to what we did with the last Meta Madness. We have qualifiers. The teams that participate will slowly ranking points depending on how far in a qualifier they go, and then they can enter the playoffs. Now, we have $2,500 of prize money here on the line for the tournament, all sponsored by Psychic, by Kevin, the same guy who hosted the Heroes International, who has the LAN center in Miami, and is obviously at this point just the sugar daddy of the Heroes of the Storm community. So yeah, pretty crazy. Big shout out to Kevin. And we have also a little bit of a twist. Now, there is one rule regarding the draft, and that's simply that you can't draft the hero more than once in the series. We're not going full Meta Madness here. There won't be any pre-bans, not for the qualifiers, not for the playoffs, not for the finals. But still, we don't want to make it too boring. It's not supposed to be the Genji Hanzo show, you know. So heroes can only be drafted once. But again, that in and of itself doesn't influence things too much. But for the playoffs, we have a little bit of a twist. And, well, I'm going to be a bit mean here because we're not going to tell you about it until we are starting with the playoffs. But you are happy to guess. If you have any ideas of what the twist could be, post it in the comments. I would be interested if somebody is able to figure it out. We had a bit of an idea, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. We'll see. It's the first time that we're doing this, so maybe it's a bit of a misfire, but I think it should be pretty sweet. And obviously, if we're hosting things like this in the future, again, we can always try and tweak it a little bit, you know. Even with the Meta Madness at the beginning, we always adjusted things from one tournament to another. But the Banshee Cup is going to be a little bit special. But we're going to reveal that as we're heading in the playoffs. For now, we're just going into our first qualifier. We got the Enjoyers against the Raiders. And yeah, I actually, there's a couple of subs playing today too. So we have Lavakal subbing in for the Enjoyers. We have on the side of the Raiders also 2 subs, Taichesa, Heguao, or however you pronounce that. And Twice is playing for them here today. And since it's Shire, the king of Shire is also getting picked. Rexa in the house. I'm actually really happy, by the way, with all the feedback that we got for the last Meta Madness. It was really fun. People have been enjoying the videos on YouTube quite a lot. The funniest thing to me personally is all those games were obviously played before Christmas, right? But I only upload a single series every single day. I'm pretty consistent with this, and that's what I do. So by now, we have the middle of January, and the amount of people that have written in the comments of Meta Madness videos like, "You can't say this is a Christmas present, Christmas is over," is amazing to me. Half of them actually don't understand that those games were played before Christmas. But that this is the thing that people get annoyed about. The first time I was like, huh? And then it happened another 2-3 times, and I was like, alright, apparently people are really sensitive on this topic. So yeah, it was kind of amusing. Just a bit of a side note. But yeah. We're having Jojo, we get Brightwing. A lot of heroes that we didn't get to see in Meta Madness at all, at least in the playoffs, because they were all pre-banned. So no more pre-bans here. And what is this? I mean, that's immediately a death loss in my eyes. This is the Banshee Cup, and what do the Raiders do? They ban Sylvanas. Are you serious, boys? The Banshee Cup, it's literally the Sylvanas Cup, and you ban Sylvanas? Wow. That is just BM. That's worse than B-stepping. I was like, unbelievable. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Alright, let's see what we're going to get as our picks here. Obviously, we're still needing a main tank here for them. We have, on the other side, a Junkrat for a little bit of displacement and damage, and also for mobility. And here comes Stukov and Muradin. Alright, so we got some stuns from Rexa and Misha. We got Muradin in the house with a couple of nice Stormbolts, hopefully. And we got Stukov as the follow-up, coming in with a quick lurking arm, dropping that silence. Hanzo, of course, with easy poke, easy farming there. A little bit more burst damage would probably be nice on the side of Johan. It's actually interesting in and of itself because Twice is obviously a tank player and he's subbing in today, so he's apparently playing Muradin, but normally it's Johan who plays it, so I'm curious to see what he deviates into. Whereas we get Tracer and Leoric on the other side for the blue team. Alright, final pick for game number 1. This is best of 3 series, by the way. Same principle as we had in the qualifiers for Meta Madness. The games are all, in the qualifiers, they're all best of 3s with the exception of the grand final. The grand final is a best of 5. So, yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Happy to answer them. But I think at this point, people are pretty familiar with the concept. And it's hammer time, apparently. All right. Dragon Shire, everybody. Game number 1 at the Banshee Cup qualifier number 1 between the Raiders and the Enjoyers. Game number 1, Enjoyers against Raiders. We are on Dragon Shire, and we're starting off on the left side in blue with Lavikal playing Brightwing. We got Ether on Junkrat, Arian on Tracer, Alvarez on Leoric, and Richu is playing Johanna. Oh, on the right side of the map, it's the Raiders with Sven on Rexa, Nano with Hanzo. We got Taichesa on Sergeant Hammer, twice on Muradin, and Johan is playing Stukov. And look at that, the Advanced Artillery as the level 1 choice on the side of the Sergeant. One of the suggestions, by the way, that always pops up when we're talking about potential twists for tournaments is that people think that inverse drafting is insanely awesome. So basically, like, you draft the heroes that the opponent's team have to play. And I'll grant you that in theory it sounds amazing, but believe me, we tried this in the past and it is an absolute shitty concept. It's not good. There was a show match back in the days of HTC with it, and I think it's fun for 1 or 2 maps. And then the teams have figured out which heroes are the crappiest, and they just draft the same heroes over and over and over and over again. And it is not nearly as much fun as you would think. Even back in the HGC show match days, the players that participated in that show match told us afterwards that they intentionally started to draft other heroes just as a little bit of a fan service, because if they would have actually drafted to win, they would have drafted the same hero every single time for the opponent if they could. And yeah, the meta gets figured out extremely quickly, and then it's literally the same heroes being played over and over and over again. So inverse drafting, in theory, is fantastic. I guess for like maybe a map or 2, it's kind of fun, and then it becomes insanely boring. But yeah, it's not going to be inverse drafting. We have a different twist for you. So far, nobody has figured it out, but let's see. Maybe somebody has a glorious idea and can come up with something. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be pretty cool. But okay, so with that, we now have all the way up at the top side, and at the bottom, the shrines are now coming up. Ooh, and Jojo gets killed. That's the sub player that gets eliminated. Twice has only died once, though. So good for him. Actually, what I'm talking about, like, I'm thinking Johanna, Johan, and then I end up with tanks in my head, but yeah, it's actually the Enjoyers that lost the hero. So I am bad-mouthing twice here, twice looking at this, and he's just like, the hell are you talking about, dude? Like, I'm still alive, I didn't die. So yes, it was indeed Johanna, it was a Richu that has fallen. He was first blood. Poor Twice. Gets wrecked already here by the commentator. It's like, yeah, doesn't even have a microphone to talk back or anything, so yeah. But okay, with that now, we got still a little bit of a lead maybe for the Raiders. Obviously, I would still say they are the favorites here. They've done very well during Meta Madness, just in general, particularly in the qualifiers, obviously. When talking about the playoffs, they haven't maybe done as well as I expected after seeing the initial games that they played, but they were one of the teams that surprised me the most during Meta Madness, and they did very well with that. Now the question, obviously, to an extent at least, is did the format maybe cater a little bit to their strengths? But generally I was impressed by how they coordinated their fights, strategies that they come up with, so I want to see how they're going to do in this tournament now as well. The little caveat here is that they're playing with 2 subs today. Now, in case that you were not familiar with this, but if you are missing a couple of players, if you just can't make it for a qualifier or for a match, you are allowed to sub out up to 2 players, not more than that. So there's a couple of sub rules that our admins are keeping track on all the time. But yeah, in this case, they're not playing with their full roster, their full lineup. But they're already applying a lot of pressure up at the top. So yeah, Taichesa here with the Smurf account is just starting to erect that front wall as a double control on the shrines for the blue team. So the Enjoyers have technically a chance to go for Dragon Knight #1. But they are losing ground up at the top. Junkrat can, of course, place a couple of mines here and maybe make the life of Sergeant Hammer a little bit harder. But now that we're seeing Storm Balls in action, there is that CC chain that I highlighted during the draft, and that leads to the death of Junkrat. So the Raiders, they are already putting the screws on over here. They're coming in with some nice hits. Twice knows exactly where the line is. jumped out just in time. Bit of an attack down at the bottom of the map, and as Leoric falls, so does Misha, and they are trying to go for structure as well. So it's not only the red team that is doing a lot of work here, but we have at the bottom of the map the blue team trying to also accelerate the game a bit. If you're ending up trading structures with your opponent, all you're essentially doing at the end of the day is you're accelerating the game, and this is exactly what's happening here. Catapults enter the game a little bit earlier, there's more space on the map in general. So the game becomes a lot faster, and of course you're also getting additional experience, which means you have higher levels early on. 3 kills to 0, 1 level ahead already for the Raiders, still pushing as best they can. Dragon Knight has honestly been playing a minor role so far. I haven't really seen a team make any real decisive moves and fully commit to an attempt to get a Dragon Knight here. We're talking about talents. We now got the Hammer Siege mode for Sergeant Hammer, obviously, so it makes her already a lot more dangerous. Middle of the map, they still need to guard this now, as the Enjoyers are still trying to see if they maybe can sneak this one in. And off comes... I want to say Hanzo with a little bit of geometry, but Nano apparently didn't pay attention in math class, so he didn't hit that at all. I mean, jokes aside, obviously Hanzo is one of his best heroes. Hasn't really shown it with that last Scat Arrow, but still. Now we got them with level 10 early on already. Napalm is in. In addition to that, we get the Dragon Arrow. And now a chance to also push at the bottom of the map. And if you have Siege Giants and then you have Sergeant Hammer with Napalm, you can really start melting some of those structures at the wall away fairly quickly. Yeah, so far, so good. Tracer obviously still zipping around, and I can tell you one thing, Tracer definitely doesn't like Sergeant Hammer. Anything that has a really nice auto attack with good damage is basically kryptonite to Tracer. Doesn't like hard counter anything, but Tracer doesn't like that. You can dodge all kinds of skill shots with Tracer, but auto attacks, they are undodgeable. So unless Jojo comes in with a quick blind, Sergeant Hammer is going to try and target Tracer whenever she gets a chance. Whittle the hit point pool down fairly quickly and then make it nearly impossible for Tracer to go for, you know, any aggressive plays and try and dive into the opponent's backline. Lurking Arm is already out. Focus with the build that we've seen here. A little bit different though. I didn't expect too much into that. Instead we have Fetid Touch and then also the long pitch on level 7. But maybe a chance now for the Raiders to actually get a Dragon Knight. Oh, blessed shield! Nice shove, but not good enough. Stukov at this point was basically dead already, but they get the counter kill. They take Tracer down, and that's that. Yeah, well done. 4 kills to 1. Tracer gone, and now they can go for the Dragon Knight, and that's exactly what they do. The man with the mask, Rexa, is already on the case and is doing his thing right here. So, top 4 has been destroyed here in the middle. They're doing their best to follow up with the second one, and Sergeant Hammer could either move down to the bottom of the map and try to attack 2 sides at once, or they could of course try and just consolidate all their forces here in the middle and make a push happen there, but it hasn't really happened yet. But obviously they are starting to take some momentum here. I mean, they're really doing their best to get quickly ahead in this game. Right now doing a great job just like pinning the Enjoyers down, and I don't think the Enjoyers are enjoying this too much just now. The Enjoyers were a really interesting team in Meta Madness as well, because I said from the beginning that I always had the feeling that the more heroes were banned, the better they were playing. And if you are a team that calls themselves the Storm League Enjoyers, I mean, Storm League is a little bit of a shit show, and it is a clown fiesta when it comes to picks. So it doesn't really shock me too much that a team that calls themselves that would thrive when, yeah, more clownish heroes are being picked in a series. Now, if they can play and perform that well in a total meta series, I mean, again, yeah, you can't pick a hero twice in a series, but again, that's nowhere near what we had with the 22 pre-bans in Meta Madness number 8. So, yeah, definitely going to keep an eye on them too, how they adapt to the tournament now. In the meantime, we have the defense was actually not too bad. And Ford over here is a little bit low, but it's not like they lost too much. Bottom of the map, the gate is even still standing. So they can still bring this back. You look at experience and you have them at level 13, both of the teams. So to be absolutely fair, Joyous, they are still in this. Very much so. They're doing a great job with this. We have them with 20,000 damage on Tracer. We got 23,000 on Sergeant Hammer. And they are now trying with that camp that they just locked in at the bot lane to go for the fort and take that down. Got to be careful a little bit with Jojo though, and they are able to get her out. Brightwing with another quick heal, but also some decent damage at that bottom fort. The defense is strong though. The entire 5-man is committed to it. Shrine activating again in another 30, so now the Dragonite is going to be the focus for the teams in just another moment. 100,000 siege damage already for Sergeant Hammer, by the way. So she's leading the charts currently on siege damage and on hero damage. And particularly siege damage, she is really stealing the show. She's 35,000 ahead of everyone else right now. It's not too shabby. A quick hit over here, alright. Another blessed shield. Stormbolt is out too. And Tracer survives. Jojo, on the other hand, doesn't. And there's the Stormbolt follow-up after the Dragon's Arrow. Leoric is dead as well. Oh boy. Now it's starting to hurt a bit. That all happens as we have a camp pushing at the top. The bottom wall has just now been destroyed. This is going to do a lot of damage. And in the meantime, Misha is already moving towards the top lane together with Rexa to prep for another Dragonite. So things are actually looking quite grim for the Enjoyers at this point in time. They're losing ground right here. They're losing ground at the top. Tracer still in the middle. Maybe trying to delay and deny the Dragonite, but let's be honest, level 16 is going to be available in a moment, and then they're going to have a talent advantage that they can run with. So this is not looking too successful. Unless, of course, Tracer is able to sneak this. Yeah, but she's not going to be in time. And they realize it too. I mean, if she would have committed immediately, then maybe, but yeah, they could have gone for this. Fairly straightforward. So, with that, we now have 16 on the board. In addition to that, also Dragonite number 2. And obviously now we also get Executioner. Executioner's in the house. Feign Death is ready. We have also the Dwarf launch over here. And that talent advantage is not really lasting for too long. But all of the forts are now destroyed. And they even use the Dragonite for defense now up at the top. It's actually amazing to me that the Enjoyers are still in experience range. If you look a bit at the XP over here, it's really the minion experience, but they're absolutely excelling. They are nearly 3,000 ahead on minion experience. Mercenary experience is also looking very good for them. They're trailing, of course, in hero experience and passive experience. That's going to be more and more of a problem, but that's a nice kill that they just locked in here. The Entomb, not quite that great, but they were able to take Sergeant Hammer down, and that was a thorn in their side. So maybe with a 5 versus 4 on the map, they can start getting a little bit of headway. Dragonite is still active. Once that's gone, there might be a couple of camps that they can claim. But yes, nicely done. So, we'll see. The Enjoyers are not giving up. Their problem is structures. They haven't taken a single fort out yet. And while in the earlier stages of the game, that's still alright. Once that we're hitting late game, those catapults are gonna be a problem. So they have to make some decisive moves if they want to have a chance here. Good Stormbolt. Oh, Tracer, what are you doing? Arion is alive, but oh boy. Yeah, that... Yeah, okay, Junkrat still dies. If they would have gotten out with the entire team, that would have been amazing. But Tracer going down like this, just like jumping straight back in, that was a bit unfortunate, I'd say. So, yeah. And that's the advantage gone. They ran a 5 versus 4 for a short period of time, but now there's a double siege giant camp at the bot lane. There's catapults coming in too, and then you have Sergeant Hammer to boot. So yeah, that's sieging up here. They're really pinning them down now. And the Enjoyers are essentially in a chokehold here. They can't do anything. They just have to sit tight and try to somehow defend, use that blind of Johanna. Use all of this as best as they can, but it's obviously a problem. This keep is taking damage, damage, and damage. And there's Merlin that gets caught. Okay, so a glimmer of hope here for just a moment for them. So far so good, taking at least that on. Yeah, maybe they can take Stukov out as well. The Entomb was on point. Now they just need to follow up with it, and they do. So the Enjoyers save the keep and get 2 kills. I mean, blue team, if not like this. Nice move, though. Nice move by the Raiders. That was an important kill. Junkrat makes it out. Sergeant Hammer and Hanzo was still there. Tracer was thinking about jumping in and trying to deal with it, but yeah. I mean, to be fair, they can finally take one of the forts out. Losing Jojo definitely didn't help their cause, but they are fighting back. We're 15 minutes in and they are nearly identical in experience. It's not quite, but it's not even a half-level lead. What is this, a quarter level that they're ahead? And this is probably going to shrink now as they're taking more mercenary camps and have a bit more control over the map. They've also destroyed one of the forts, so the passive experience gain advantage that the Raiders have had the entire time. It is now shrinking too. Quest completed, so the Mithril Mace is done. Again, if you're the Raiders, this is a little bit uncomfortable. You're doing well the entire time, but you know that one team fight towards the end game where you just shit the bed and all of a sudden you could lose the game. So, you don't want to go full Amber Heard on this one. Now, we have level 20 any second, and Storm Talents can always change things, particularly when we're talking about Leoric, for example. One nice Buried Alive, and you can really do work there. Now, there's already our Rewind. We now have the Ultra Capacitors in as well. And there it is, Buried Alive. A lot of pressure on Leoric now. Leo has to hit this one. No. That's always the problem, right? The more pressure you put on Leo, the more likely the chance that you lose it. Oh my god, where is that arrow going? Woo! The arrow cam catches it in all its glory, but that one is flying straight over to South Africa. Yeah, that's going to hit hard somewhere over there. Just like dodging all the targets. 5 lined up. Everybody was like, nah, no arrows today. So they're playing the ring. Oh, yeah. Leo is activating his trait. I mean, he dies for a cause. If they can at least get the kill on Hanzo here. Meriton blocking the path. That was pretty sexy. Nano might have died to Tracer if not for that. So Leo is down. He'll be back soon. At this point, it's just a walking observer ward. Can also drain them a little bit, but that is a potential Dragonite for them. Now, once that Leo is back, he will also have his Buried Alive again. He should be jumping into that fight. Leo will be ready for that fight. They have full vision on everything, so they can battle this one out, but they don't want to. They have now Junkrat topside, taking one shrine, and he takes it in time, so Rexa has no opportunity to get Dragonite in number, I believe, 3 for the Raiders. But they need to force that fight. Alvaro's another Entomb, maybe. Nice, dodging the shove there. This is getting a bit tense. 20 against 20. Not a single keep is gone. All of them are still in here. Alright, the attacks are still coming. I love Junkrat. Junkrat is always amazing. I love that dumb laugh. It's glorious. Alright. Muradin gets turned into a frog or whatever that was just before he hits that Storm Bolt. Tracer! Yeah, gets out. Sergeant Hammer is an absolute pain in the ass at this point. I mean, Hammer is just getting those hits in and she is hitting hard. I mean, just looking at the damage, she's at 56,000. But she's not top damage. Far from it, actually. She is absolutely rocking it on siege damage, but 69,000? Nice. For Tracer, and we got 67,000 for Hanzo. So yeah, Sergeant Hammer still chipping in a lot, and particularly targeting Tracer whenever there's a chance to do that. But once again, here comes the move for Misha. Leo also missing the Drain Hope. And everybody is still looking for a hit, with the exception of Junkrat. They are totally willing to play a bit of a macro game here. They also have to defend the top lane, of course, because those catapults, they are becoming more and more of an issue. So now the double control, they have a few heroes lined up in the middle to delay a potential channel on the Dragonite. But that's Junkrat claiming the top, and now they can hope for a misstep from the red team that they can capitalize on and get themselves a kill. But the Raiders are getting more and more control over the middle of the map, and that's starting to become a problem. Oh, Junkrat nearly dying again, but look at Nano. Rexa is already gone. If they can take Hanzo down, that would be huge. That would be big. Yeah, and they just can't. Nano is able to get away. Riptire is not going to be able to catch up here. But it's a 5 versus 4 regardless. Misha down, Rexa down, and that puts them now into the driver's seat here for sure. That minion wave is going to get wrecked couldn't catch anything else, and this is probably going to be Dragon Knight number 1 for the Enjoyers. And guys, now we're 19 minutes into the game, so all of a sudden, Muradin is jumping in. Is he there in time? Yes, he is. Yeah, that little shit here. They were so happy that they finally can get a Dragon Knight, and then he interrupted it. But another chance. And they're going to be able to claim it. Yeah, there's not going to be an interrupt this time. Yeah, Hanzo doesn't even have an ult. Wouldn't have sacrificed it either way. But this is now a late game Dragon Knight. The first one for the Enjoyers. But again, this is a potential comeback. They were struggling throughout the game, but they always kept themselves in experience range. And now they're trying to capitalize on it. Don't have the Sunshine Hammer. No! Hammer gets killed, and damn, that's a staggered death just as Rek'Sai is back. Guys, the Enjoyers, they have been on the back for the entire game. They lost 3 of their forts. They didn't get any counter damage done. Up to the point where finally, close towards the late game, they destroyed 1 fort at the bot lane, and now they're going for the keep. It might be the first team to take a keep down in this game. It's actually incredible. They are going for it. They might lock in the 1-0 against the Raiders. What a game. Here's the opportunity. 27 seconds for Hammer to come back, and Stukov is dead. They're actually pulling it off. You gotta be kidding me. They're trying to go for the core here. They missed the Entomb again. Leo, why? But with Muradin falling, there is no way to save this anymore. 6.5 out of 10 moment. Full-on comeback by the Enjoyers as they take the Raiders down on Shire and take the 1-0 lead in this best-of-3 series. GG. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Well guys, game number 2. So again, 10 heroes that were played in the first game cannot be played again. It's the only rule that we have for drafts, just to make sure that it's not the Hanzo Genji show. But we have Haunted Mines as our second map. I cannot believe that the team actually picked it. So here's basically what happened. We decided at some point that to make this a bit more interesting, that we would bring some of the maps back that are just not played anymore these days. Blackheart's Bay, Haunted Mines. And the way we did that is that, well, we had one tournament, Meta Mapness, where we only played maps like this. So if you're interested in that, there's a playlist on my YouTube channel. You can check that out. You only see Haunted Mines, Blackheart Bay, Hanamura, like Warhead, all of those things, okay? So if you're interested in it, you can check it out. But if you watch Meta Madness, the last tournament, then you know that for Best of 5 series, we used them as a starting map. And that was forced on the team. So we told them, in the series, in the Best of 5 series, the starting map is Haunted Mines, is Blackheart's Bay. But you cannot pick these maps. Now here we loosened it up a little bit, and I honestly didn't expect that any team would actually pick a map like that. And then the Enjoyers came in and was like, you know what? It's actually not too bad. We're gonna take this one now. So yeah, Haunted Mines is our map, and with that, off we go. It's kind of amazing to me. It's kind of funny. So, okay, we have Silva. Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking. I have no idea how she got through the draft, by the way, for a game on Haunted Mines. But here she is, Sylvanas. In case that you were wondering, why did we call this the Banshee Cup? It's actually very simple. Kevin Psychiv, who is sponsoring the tournament, the heroes, also known as the Heroes of the Storm Sugar Daddy, he is a huge Sylvanas fan. I think he has, I believe it was 7,000 couple hundred games on one account with Sylvanas. Like, he's a Sylvanas one trick, and I still remember that in the first event we actually had a bit of a fun match playing, and he played against Dequaza and some others, and Dequaza got super frustrated because he couldn't catch him. He always jumped out. I mean, if you play 7,500 games in Sylvanas, at some point you know the timings. So suffice it to say, Kevin is a fan of Sylvanas, and that's how the name Banshee Cup came together. And she's playing with Anduin here. Sparks are flying already. Alright. Anduin. I would like to say that I missed him, but I really didn't. So, yeah. Urel, and on the other side we get Genji and Blaze. Okay. I still can't believe that they're now trying to make Anduin a thing. There was like apparently a World of Warcraft thingy trailer, whatever, where they're now trying to make him manly. Good luck with that. The crybaby. My money! For the Alliance! Oh boy. That's why you can't play Alliance! Like seriously, what are you people doing? He's not even a beta. He's a gamma or something. It's like, it's embarrassing. Can't follow anyone like that. Nah. Sylvana is like way better there. Maybe some attitude problems. Maybe she overdoes it, but I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, Rhaegar and Chromie. So we get the Chrome Stain. It's actually kind of fun, honestly. After casting Meta Madness for, I believe, nearly 2 months, there's a lot of heroes here now all of a sudden that I haven't seen in a while. Which is, yeah, kind of cool. Nano didn't get Chromie. I believe that he would probably have liked to play her too, but we get Artanis, yeah, for Haunted Mines. The problem with Sylvanas and Haunted Mines is that she's absolutely amazing here, because if you go down into the mines to get skulls, Sylvanas just stays at the top and just goes through a lane. So that can be a problem. Now Alvaros, our final pick for game number 1. Keep in mind the Enjoyers are actually in the lead after that comeback that they pulled off on Dragonshire. So now we still need a main tank for the blue team, and they choose Sonya. All right, Blaze main tank. All right, I'm here for it. Let's go. Haunted Mines, everybody. Game number 2. Game number 1! And I swear to God, they actually won the first game. I know the overlay is a little bit late. The overlay, you know, didn't get used for a while, so the scoreboard was just a bit late on this one. But yes, 1-0 for the Enjoyers after that comeback. The Raiders still have to win 2 in a row if they don't want to drop down into the losers bracket. Yes, indeed, we have a double elimination system here. Arian for the blue team on Genji. We got Rizzo and Blaze going straight into the Endurance Stimpack here, by the way. Alvaros and Sonya, Lavakal on Rhaegar. We got Ether on Chromie, and over to the right side, the Raiders with Tychessa on Sylvanas. We got Twice on Anubarak, Nano on Artanis, Johan on Anduin, and Sven is playing Urel. Okay, let's go. I want to see if they can use Sylvanas properly over here. Sylvanas is incredibly strong on Haunted Mines. It honestly shocks me a bit that she was banned in the first game, but they let her through the draft in game number 2. It's kind of amazing to me. When you're talking about Haunted Mines, she's absolutely one of those heroes that you would... This is ugly as hell. Jesus. As if I didn't hate Anduin enough already, but then you put him also on this mount. Like, what the hell, dude? Look at this. Disgusting. This is not even a matter of, like, personal preference or something. Like, nope. This is objectively just horrifying. Just absolutely bad. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. Ja. Minus points. Abzug in der B-Note. So. Oh, the money swap. Nicely done. Can they get a kill? Well, they're going... Oh, Twice, careful. He's not the only one that has to be careful. The same is true for Genji. And Genji makes it out, but they take down the doggy. Rhaegar gets murdered, so 1 is already gone. And, well, with that now we're having straight ahead the first camp about to be claimed. Pumpkins on the map. It is pumpkin time. Let's go. Yep, and all the way up at the top. Here comes our next little attack for Pumpkin Camp number 2. I mean, but now it's a 5 versus 5 back on the map, so I don't think... Actually, it looks like they're just going to give this one up. They have to defend the bot lane, so they're going to let them take both of the camps fairly easily. So, yeah. A little bit of extra time down at the bottom of the map to take one of those towers out, or nearly. Well, they might actually be able to get the entire thing. And yep, they do. Winion time! Oh yeah. All of those oversized Winions here. I said it before, but it's really a bit weird to me. Again, I casted Meta Madness now for like 2 months, and some heroes were banned immediately, right? So when the pre-bans came in, some heroes were just instantly eliminated. So now after 2 months, all of a sudden seeing all of these heroes again is kind of cool. I'm a little bit like a broken record here right now, and I absolutely acknowledge that, but I look at Nuburak here, I look at Blaze, and I was like, I haven't seen you in a while. And you see Chromie, she was banned too, Genji coming in, Anduin being annoying again, the pull-out king with one trade pull after another. And off they go again, push Genji back out and force him back here. Whereas all the way up at the top, they go for the next attack. How are you guys doing, by the way, with New Year's resolutions? I still don't really know what I think about it. I feel like for most things, honestly, it's just better if you do stuff instead of waiting for the new year, you know? But one thing that I've done last year and something that I'm also doing this year is starting with the new year, for example, I told myself I'm not going to buy any candy. So no chocolate, no gummy bears and stuff. Cookies are allowed. Cookies are fine. Not like double chocolate chip cookies or whatever, but just like generic, I actually don't know if they have a name, like standard cookies. But they are fine, but just no candy. And it's just like a question of how long I'll be able to do that. Last year, I think I managed a couple of months, and that was pretty good. So for the new year, it's always nice to do something like that. But I don't know, anybody with New Year's resolutions that so far you're still holding on to, or are people just over the whole concept? Also a bit of a pause. Yeah, they had some problems with Discord earlier, so that might be the case. I mean, by now we have actually Genji taken out, so this is the second kill for the Raiders. They took out 2, and they should have a very good position. Sonya dropped, okay. They should have a really good position here to get ahead in Skulls, because they are already ahead with 38 to 17. The big boy in the middle is still up as well. I would assume that the Raiders are gonna get a fairly decent first golem. Now, the first one is usually not all that strong as objectives go on maps. Again, as usual, they scale very well into the late game, but early on, most objectives aren't really all that powerful. Now, you can obviously enhance that a little bit with Sylvanas. If you get a really big golem, you can also attempt to go for just a double push. You have Sylvanas on one lane, the golem on the other, and you can see what you can do with that. But yeah, time will tell. Generally speaking, Sylvanas is great here. Now, the red team, they still had to move 2 of their heroes back out of the mines, and they will probably enter again soon. But on the side of the Enjoyers, yeah, they're falling back quickly. I want to highlight this again. I also talked about it during the draft, but still, just in case people missed it. Richard is actually playing a main tank Blaze. So we now have Blaze as a main tank, and we got Sonya. Main tank Blaze has kind of fallen out of fashion. It was never really popular. It was never really a big pick. It got picked in HGC, I believe, once or twice. Dignitas played him once. There was another team that locked him in one time. And yeah, each team, they immediately said like, yeah, no, he's kind of trash as a main tank. We don't really want him here. There were a few changes made after that. So Jet Propulsion always had a bit of a bigger wind-up before it was actually launched and then connected the stun. And that got reduced by Blizzard. That made him a bit more popular. Lauber, for example, at some point in time played him a few times after HGC and used him as a main tank. But generally speaking, even those were kind of off-meta picks and most people didn't really want to do it. So while Blaze has a lot to offer, you normally find him in the side lane position. So seeing him here as a main tank is interesting. And it's definitely something that I didn't expect for the second game. So we'll see how they're going to fare with that. Lavakal over here is not going to survive that. Everybody goes for the doggy, and that is Rega eliminated. And now it's time to connect some skulls. Go in and try and take that out. So, yeah. They should get those small camps too. I mean, they're fully focused on the big one. Rega dying, by the way, was really an issue because the death timers are still fairly low, so Genji was back quickly, and they could have maybe tried to go back in a 5 versus 5 fight mode, but with Rega dying, there was just absolutely no chance to do anything about it. And now you can just see them picking up more and more skulls as this continues. They're still leaving a few up. Apparently they're going to try and get that later. They also have to defend the bot lane, obviously, since the Enjoyers have decided to not go back down into the mines. They were just pushing for lanes and taking some walls out here. The level 7, we now get also the Desperate Prayer. Desperate is a word that I would associate with Anduin, just in general. So I oftentimes make a little bit of fun about how Blizzard names talents, because a lot of them are absolutely ridiculous. But Desperate, yes, this is definitely an adjective that I personally would associate with Anduin. So this is well done. Whoever named that, I applaud you, sir. Round of applause here, by the way. Nicely done. So yeah, he knew what he was doing. Let's just put it like that. Down at the bottom of the map still, they're hoping to get more damage in on that fort. They also have the early level 8. So here comes Chromie with her ult. But with yeah, with 75 skulls already, and now them getting a few back, that's 75 to 25. Again, it's the first one. It's not gonna be too crazy, but yeah, should still be able to help them a little bit. And with Sylvanas, I expect them to do at least some damage here. The rule of thumb back in the day, it's not quite true anymore if you watch the Haunted Mines game that we had in, or the games that we had in Meta Madness. But the rule of thumb was always, if you get a big golem, you push with the golem. Again, there are exceptions, but that's normally what most people were doing. You set up a 4-man, sometimes even all 5, and you're just trying to go for it. In this case, they also have Sylvana, so they're really trying to now capitalize on her strengths, as you see already. And even with that first golem, they should be able to do some damage here. They got a Siege Giant camp on top of that too. It's not gonna happen though if they're dying. And well, that's already a quick double kill right here. Nicely done. Sylvanas and Anduin have both fallen. So yeah, that was the play that set it up. I mean, as you can see right there, this was absolutely perfect for them. They came in from the side, they just stunned them out, and then both of them fall, and that pretty much shuts that push down immediately. So a really nice move. And if you now compare the two lanes, it's actually the red team that has lost more hit points on their fort compared to what we're seeing down here. It's kind of amusing, honestly. You're fighting for the first objective, you're doing your best, 75 to 25 skulls, and then it's just like, yeah, insta double kill and wah wah. That's that. So, yeah, kind of unfortunate for them. But okay. Raiders need to win too. I'm not gonna be tired of saying that because it's still amazing to me how they turned this first game around. It was, I mean, I kind of called it a little bit. We were talking about how you shouldn't count them out and how they could turn the game around, but honestly, that they actually pulled it off is still impressing me. Now we have Light Bomb. Can start to dive in here. They got a couple of options. Nano with a sad cloud in here has a lot of reasons to be sad right now because the game is not quite going as well as they were hoping for. But maybe now, can they win this fight? Light Bomb, nice, hitting multiple ones, good stuns. Rhaegar with the Ancestral, but uh-oh, they're turning it, and Yrel doesn't have an ult anymore. Yrel has no ult, but she's able to get out. The problem is that Atanis is not going to be able to get out of this one. Trash Tannis is doing what he does best. He dies a painful death. He is the one to fall. And Genji was hoping to get another kill, but a new Burak survived. So now they're pushing for the top. We got some pumpkins here too. And yep, that's going to be a fort very likely. So yeah, well done. Fort is gone. And they are pulling ahead in experience now. It's 3 kills to 3. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to take Yrel out. That would have been pretty amazing. And down to the bottom of the map, obviously, still a chance to push for that too. Oh my god, is Sonya dropping again? No, Blaze dropped this time. Jesus, they're having some real problems over here. So now we have Blaze dropping. First it was Sonya that dropped out of the game. Now it's Blaze. Whatever's going on with the internet over there, they need to be a bit careful. Or win the series really quickly. That's another solution to the whole dilemma. We have them with 18,000 damage on Sylvanas, so our girl is doing well. But Genji is still leading the charts with 21,000. 2 deaths on Rhaegar. They're all kicking the dog around a little bit. And yeah, Yrel. I mean, even Anduin has more damage than Yrel and Nubarak right now. It's actually not too shabby, honestly. 10,000 is not too bad. So not good for him. Blaze, again, main tank for the team. With 14,000 that he brings in here. But yeah, they definitely got to fix whatever the issue is with their connection. Because, yeah, they're doing well so far, but you never want to be in a situation, you know, where you all of a sudden start losing games just simply because you have issues with internet stability. Now, when it comes to experience, you can clearly see how they're pulling ahead pretty much everywhere. I mean, in every single aspect, they're currently doing better than the opponent's team. And this isn't really a big issue when you are just at level 11, but just imagine them hitting the early level 13 with the mines being open, for example. Unlikely to happen considering that they're opening up in another 10 seconds, so I don't think we're going to see that happening. But still, if they are able to get those talent advantages, even if it's just for the golem push, I mean, just imagine this being like a split golem, 50-50, and one team has level 13 advantage. Now, all of a sudden, you're really having a bit of an ace up your sleeve where you can try and take some structures out. Drop another fort, for example. They already eliminated one, so at the top lane, they by default now have additional pressure with catapults. And in addition to that, they're also going to get some passive experience. Now, that increase is not too crazy, but still, it's something that matters. And so we'll see if they can do enough with that. With the mines opening up, this is really where the Raiders have to step it up. Second golem isn't going to be a game winner, particularly if you yourself again have Sylvanas. But it's going to be strong enough to be a little bit annoying to deal with. And if they lose the second fort, and let's talk about that fort for a second. That wall is opened up. And in addition to that, it's already low. So if all of a sudden both of their forts are gone, that makes it a lot harder to engage in fights over the camps, for example. You have a longer distance to the next fountain. It's also going to get a bit tricky when you're fighting in the mines and you have to jump out, tap a fountain. They've done it previously several times where there was a fight on the lower level and they had to retreat. Just go to the fountain, tap, and then quickly back to the mines. And then literally the only entrance that is close to a fountain is going to be this one. And even this isn't all that close. So if you lose both your forts, those fights are going to be so much harder for you. Now, we'll see how they're going to deal with this. But just saying that the next objective, the one that is spawning in 10 seconds, could start to become a little bit of a problem for the team. Alright, it took a little bit longer, but Blaze is back to business. So, apparently he dropped and then couldn't rejoin the game, so he had to go for a full restart. But yes, the mines are, as explained, open, and let's go! It is party time! And they are a little bit late to that party. What are they doing? Oh, they're going for the camp first. I just saw him close to the entrance and I was just like, what are you doing? It was like, are you arguing about who's going down first, or what's happening there? They are very late to the party. I mean, look at the discrepancy here. 46 against 0. That means worst case scenario, it's a 50-50. So, yeah. Not really a great start. There's the light bomb on the other hand. Can they maybe get some kills now? Oh, it's Ed with the dice first. The crybaby goes down. And they're trying for another kill. And can they get Sylvanas? Yes, they can. Not only Sylvanas. They're killing pretty much everything here. Boy, oh boy. Guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but the Enjoyers have just taken a massive, massive step to a 2-0 victory against the Raiders. Not what I expected at all. I mean, damn. 0 skulls currently. Just look at that fight. 3 heroes down. Now they go for the big boss again. Sonya's picking everything up. They're going to look at 100% golem. 100-0. Yeah, good luck trying to defend this. And now what I already hinted at earlier is coming to pass. We have level 13 against level 11, and Genji is inting. Dude, what the hell? Okay, how much did they pay you, dude? I mean, seriously, how much did they pay you? Wow. I mean, are you serious? You kill 3 heroes, they all come back, you have 100% golem, and then you int like that? You're fucking with me. And now Rhaegar is dead too, like, what the hell? How to throw an insane advantage away for beginners. That was, I mean, what the heck? They might still get that fort at the bot lane, but I cannot believe that that just happened. You kill 3, you get 100% on the golem, and then you just decide to first of all sacrifice Genji, and then afterwards Rhaegar is also getting caught. Alright, so they can poke this down, Genji can take it, they got at least a fort once this is gone, but that is insane to me. That they did not really do anything with that advantage. And of course those 2 kills also helped the Raiders to get back in experience. Yeah, if I'm the Enjoyers, if I'm one of the 3 that survived, I'm mad right now. I'm actually mad. Like, guys, are you kidding me? That could have gone so much better for them. But again, 2 forts are down, so they got at least a fort out of this. They could have gotten more, but a fort was still destroyed. So it's not like they got nothing. That's more passive experience for them. They're still a level ahead. Now they're trying to also steal the camp away here. But it's 13 versus 13 talents. But yeah, Genji gets Cocoon. That's one cooldown already used. And they should be able to hammer this one away. So, okay, here comes the fight. Same talents. Alright, ult from Artanis, and Bunker is on the ground. Can cleanse this one out. A massive stun set against Chromie. Timeout is in, but that's only going to delay the inevitable. Once Chromie dies, yeah, Sylvanas is dead, so 2 of the damage healers are gone. Urel is also already eliminated. In the meantime, Artanis is trying to make a bit of a move forward. The Siege Giant camp, but Nubarak. He's diving out, and Trash Tannis is dead again. 10 kills to 6, so here's attempt number 2. They kill 3, and now they have a chance to break through the bottom wall. The Enjoyers are making up for that previous mistake, take another big lead in experience, and now, as the mines are announced, they are inching closer to level 16, so they will actually head down into the mines with a talent advantage. They take the wall down, Siege Giants do a bit of damage to the keep, but of course the team is falling back since everybody is respawning on the Raider side. But sending the Razors down into the losers bracket, that would be big. I mean, the first qualifier here, that would be such a great start into the Banshee Cup for the Enjoyers. Honestly crazy. So again, they're taking a bit of an advantage. They have level 16 now. That in and of itself is already big. Giant Slammer is in. We got the final cut as well. They're getting a bit caught here at the top though. Light Bomb, stun, and Genji is dead again. Genji is gone, and this is the 3rd time that he was eliminated. So they're pushing for the top, they want another kill, and they can of course try and use Sylvanas if they get both of these kills to make a play here as well. Blaze, it's honestly impressive how long he survived against 5. He still dies, he's still gone. The good news for the Enjoyers is that they are at 46 skulls already, so yes, they will get a skull advantage. And this is actually also a little bit of a concern. This is going to do some damage to that bottom keep. It's not going to destroy it, but yeah. Top forward will fall. So this one is getting dropped by the Raiders. They're capitalizing on the position they were in. And with Sonya adding to the mix down here, this is becoming a really big problem. Yeah, if Sonya sacrifices herself, she's going to get this one. Yeah, she's going to get it. Alvaros is going to get this, no doubt about it. He's going to die for it, but hey, that is hashtag worth it. 100%. Genji is nibbling down at the bottom. They're going to buy a little bit of time here. Alvaros is just going to try and waste as much time on them as he can. Nearly gets the hits in on Sylvanas too. But yeah, she gets out. And while that happened, they are now on 54 skulls. So they are doing surprisingly well given the situation. Good for them. 16 to 16 talents. They can take some, or yeah, the hard thing back. They are already at 70. He is getting back as well. So that means that we have this. I mean, this is actually kind of nuts if you think about it. We just had them take a keep down, and they're still ending up with 70 skulls to 30. So, yeah, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good for them. 10 kills to 9, and here's the chance to drop that top keep, and, well, maybe even go for more. Get a few kills with that, and you definitely have an opportunity to get a lot more destroyed in the process. But okay. Let's see what they can pull off. For now, though, we have, yeah, not really an experienced lead anymore. The Raiders closed it pretty much completely. But this is going to come down to the next team fight. And they're already going for Sonya. All right, rather the Berserker is out. Nicely done, good dodges. They're taking the Cocoon down quickly. Blaze is back. That Blaze main tank is working for them this game. I gotta say. Unexpected. The map choice was unexpected, that main tank was unexpected, but Genji is still getting murdered in these fights. They're trying to turn it now on, well, not only on Urel, but also on the rest of the team. That boss is, by the way, still murdering their top lane and is going for the keep now, so as long as they can push him back here, it's going to be great for them. Yeah, maybe Nano is going to die now too. Again, they're going for Artanis, and they nearly get him. He barely survives, but that top side keep is in trouble. It is a 5 versus 4 on the other hand, so the Enjoyers are absolutely unwilling to commit to that fight, to commit to that keep. Instead, they're just walking back here. They've done a lot of damage though. More than 50% of the hit points are gone. They lost 2 of their forts, so now the only structural advantage that they essentially have is that bottom keep that they destroyed. Yes, there's still a couple of towers and walls, but that doesn't really have a big impact on the game just now. The catapults that are spawning on the bot lane, on the other hand, that's of course big. So, yeah. Down to the bottom of the map. Here comes the catapult. 1, 2, 3. They gotta take this down quickly. And they have to be diligent about cleaning that up every single time. And currently they're going into the fight instead. Those catapults are gonna go for the core. That might be a little bit of damage. Twice, once out, and gets followed by Genji for a second, but can make it. Catapults are now on the core, by the way. It's only 17 minutes into the game, but Urel is also going. They're just killing them. Honestly, they're doing so well here. It's a little bit bonkers. Catapults are doing some damage, but they're not strong enough yet to take the core down by themselves. They nearly reduced the shield to 0, but weren't able to do that fully either. Anduin is as usual cheating. The pull-out king pulling out one hero after another as he becomes the target of the front line of the Enjoyers. In this case, it was a Nubarak that got saved. But they're sieging up at the top. As long as Urel is gone, they can siege up and try and make a play. Artanis, yeah, with a big swap against Blaze. Not sure if that's going to help him here, though. Blaze is kind of caught. Blaze is caught and gets saved by Artanis swapping him. What? He swapped him out of the body block. The keep's gone. I don't think that Blaze would have fallen either way. But Nano did Blaze a bit of a favor there. Now, to be fair, he himself obviously was also attacked, so it wasn't only Blaze that got very quickly dropped in hit points. But yeah, that's now 2 keeps down. They only have their core left. Catapults all over the place. Now you can really play macro if you are the Enjoyers. And you are still adding experience. That's, of course, the cherry on top of the cake. They have that lead that they can play around too. Yeah, a few more stuns. And not a fight they need to take. I don't understand why they're fighting this. Half a level to 20, and they're engaging in a battle that they really don't need. While catapults are pushing. If they win it, great. But if they lose it, that's the ticket for the Raiders back into the game. And Blaze is down. Blaze is gone. Another swap, and now Chromie is going to die as well. They at least kill Artanis. So it's a 3 versus 4 in a second. But that was an absolutely unnecessary fight. Why take this one? There was nothing on the line here. Absolutely nothing. Just fall back. The red team wants a fight. They need it. They want it. So now they're going for the golem. They're going to try and turn it around with the objective. But there's catapults everywhere. And Urel, she's going to I mean, she is not going to be able to take care of both lanes. Level 20 is now already also in. There's only 3 heroes missing back on the map, sorry. So they're going now for some camps instead. Blaze has his ult too. But boy, oh boy. I mean, yeah. They're moving from one camp to another now. And they're actually getting caught there for just a moment. Light Bomb does not do anything. Nubarak was diving out of the fight. But this is a 3 versus 4. A little bit careful, guys. And I repeat myself. Why take this fight? There's catapults on the core now, so at least they're pushing them back for the core. But Artanis is back and is going to defend this. They're throwing this. I honestly don't understand what the kind of decisions are being made here. I like what we're seeing here. We have 53%, so yes, this is a lot of damage done. I'm just not sure if it's worth what's happening, because the problem that I still have, that Urel kill was big. The problem that I still have is that Sylvanas is on the side of the red team. So if they get like an insanely big golem, for example, this late into the game, Sylvanas might really be a big issue and help the red team to go for the fight. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy with game number 3, but there's some choices from the Enjoyers where I'm just like, why are you taking that fight? You don't really have to. Last one wasn't as crucial, but yeah, taking down Urel here was pretty big. That really helped them. And Urel died 4 times already. Genji, by the way, with 5 deaths. The only one that hasn't died even once is a Nubarak. And Nubarak has not died a single time. But yeah, look at this. So they are now going for 100% on the golem. And this is going to be the big push. Alvarez, I think he's going to try and backdoor. This is the moment where you're regretting not taking the wall out here. Because that can see you. So that boss... It's going to be interesting how the Raiders are going to play this. If they're trying to defend against that boss, if they're not worried about it because they had 0 skulls. But yeah, that top lane... Let's see how they are playing this. The red team more so. With 53% on your core, you have to be aware that it's an option for your opponent to just simply backdoor you. And it's both Sonya and Genji that are sitting there. Yeah, both of them are immediately falling back, so they're realizing it's going to be a bot lane defense, and that's why they can go for the top and take on this one. So it shouldn't destroy the keep, well, but the red team is now moving over. So, yeah.
now that they know that there's nobody in, but is losing hit points very, very quickly. They have to retreat behind the gate in just a moment, though. They know where Nubarak is. They know he's diving in. There's at least a stun that connected. Yeah, Sonya, Alvarez has to get out of this. Good jet propulsion, nice stun. The heal is coming in. Rega got Ancestral a little bit too late. So yes, they were able to save the day. They can poke from a distance now as long as Blaze is able to survive, and they are able to do a lot here. But in Nubarak, he goes down. That's really bad for the Raiders. That's huge for the blue team. They might lose Blaze, but maybe they can get a counter kill. 4 versus 4 on the map, and they defeated the boss. That is massive. And over here, we have again a catapult that is fucking inting in the back, tilting me every time. It's 2 catapults that are inting. That makes it even worse. And the siege giants at the front that are reducing the shield, but the red team is on the run. And if Anduin can do one thing, well, it's running. But he's not running well enough in this one. So there's the double kill, there's the triple. It's a 5-man team wipe. And it's game. I can't believe it, but the Enjoyers are actually taking the Raiders down with a 2-0 and send the red team packing into the losers bracket. Well done, GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.